Good evening, guys. Hope you are doing well tonight. It has been a crazy day. My bathroom did a flood, so I had to get that fixed. So that took some time. And then I just got home from work late as well. So yeah. So we're going to start off with the charts. So we're going to look at the charts and then we're going to have a discussion of should you move your stop loss to break even or not to break even? Should you leave it in the place? Because we all know that our stop losses need to just stay where they are, right? But is it okay to move it up into profits instead of down? Because we should never ever move it down, right? More and more stop loss. It's going to hit my stop loss, so we move it. So we never ever do that, right? So later we're going to discuss, is it okay? Because a lot of people, they move their stop loss to break even. All right, they move it to break even, or they move it to a certain point. We will get into the discussion. Stop losses. Should you move them or should you not move them? So for example, we took the position right of longs. Say we took the position from this chalk. Okay, we leave this here and our profit is there. Okay, we already have a good risk to reward ratio. Now some people believe some people believe that it is good to take some profit out. So maybe you can take some profit out when you have TP1. So maybe what you want to do is have two long positions aligned. Boom. Okay. And then what you can do is you can say, when it hits a 1-to-1, when it hits the 1-to-1, you can take out profit. Okay. Or some people do this. Okay. Control V. What do? Is they still leave this like this, but what they do is they move their stop loss to break even. So you have those three, right? You have your full position, you have your full position, okay, you have your full position. Then when it hits take profit 1, when it hits a target of TP1, you take a percentage of your trade out. So this could be take profit 1. Then what other people do to secure profits or to make sure they don't lose money is they move stop loss to break even. They move their stop loss to break even. Now, in these accounts, okay, these are some ways that people secure some of their profits, okay? These are some ways they secure profits. Now, my opinion is I sometimes have a trailing stop loss. What is a trailing stop loss? Okay, so for example, you can't do it on these ones, but for example, okay, say you have a trade, right? Say you have a trade. So let's draw two lines. So you have a trade here, and here's your stop loss, and here is your take profit. Okay, so then what do we do is we move it. I don't believe that you spent all your time analyzing the chart for you to, how can I say, break even, right? So for me, if I am going to move it to the break even part, I am going to want to at least take some money out, just so that the work that I put through and the work that I did, it gives me something in return. That's how I think. I don't believe in break even. I believe you gotta take something out of the market. If you are waiting for a trade, okay, and you are now gonna put it to break even, what's the point of taking the trade? That's my opinion. Okay. Or I will trail it, for example, the orb, right? So for example here, we could have moved the stop loss. So we see it going up, then we move the stop loss, 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 and then when it comes back to hit our stop loss, we take out the profits that we have already occurred. So because on here, I don't think you could do it with when you're in the paper trade. You could have done it with the paper trade. So basically you move it. So see, it went up. So now, for example, I move it and then it hits my stop loss, but I walk away still profitable. Yes, it's not the full 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 that we originally designed to have, but I still walk away with money. I don't walk away with negative. But there are some times when I do not move my stop loss and I have made a judgment to say, I am willing to lose $20 or I'm willing to lose $10, for example, and I leave it open. Why? Because if you look at Japanese yen, for example, now let's take London session, right? Let's have a look at London session. So London session, it opened right. Okay. Now let's do Tokyo session rather. So it opened right. Okay. Let's clear all these things first. No, let's leave it, that's fine. All right, so for Tokyo session, it started right. Now we took our 15-minute orb, for example. Boom, Tokyo session started. Now, if I did, let's get a little liney. If, for example, here's my stop loss. Okay, so I put my stop loss over here. Okay, now I see that it's going up, right? So now I move my stop loss. I move my stop loss. I move my stop loss. Move my stop loss, and boom, I get stopped out here. But what actually happened? It came back into the 15-minute orb, yet to go higher if we left it at the original, you know. So like we see, okay, it broke through. Okay, cool, it broke through, it made a breakthrough. Now let me put a market order here. Okay, oh, I missed the trade, but now we're not going to chase the trade, right? We're going to put a market order here. No, sorry, a limit order here. And then we're going to put our stop. Give a little bit of breathing room below. Okay, so we were saying that maybe it made a big push up. But if we have the orb, we can use the orb as a place to then place our new trade. See, pops in, basically pops in a little bit for a minute. Then what happens? It goes up, and then we could even plant it over here. And we have two. Okay. So basically, there we go. So basically we get in over here, right? We get in over here. And what do we make? We make our 1, 2, 3. So basically when we see something like this, okay, because it came back, you know, and then it pushed out. I mean, if you got here, for example, if you got here and then you created a long position from here for it to be over here, you created the position right over here when it made the breakout, right? You also could have had the 2.9 or even 3. See, you could have hit your take profit. Okay, so that's why sometimes it is good to see that sometimes it will come back into the orb again and use this area now as support or supply and demand. Because look here, where did it come and tap? Okay, basically it came to tap right in this area over here. Boom, 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 boom. That's where it tapped inside. Okay, so you can see why sometimes you have to make a judgment call. Okay, you have to make the judgment call, and that comes over time and experience of how do you want to place the trade? Do you want to place the trade where you are, how can I say, you are going to just leave it, have the full position, you know, or are you going to take some profits when it hits a 1 to 1, or are you going to move? Are you going to move it? Move your stop loss to break even, or a little bit over break even. That is what you have to decide. You have to make the judgment call. I know there are lots of people who don't move their stop loss, but I also know a lot of people that do trailing stops. And I know I've heard so many people speaking about moving your stop loss to break even. But with moving your stop loss to break even, I just sometimes don't know why people don't move it just a little bit over break even. You know, like they're always like, I'll move my stop loss to break even. So that means that trade was worth nothing. 0. You know, and like obviously when you are trading, you're in the market to make money, not to lose money, right? See, and as I said, if we had just held on for a little bit longer, look what is happening to our trade. It is just about to hit a 2.2. 2.2. Even at a 1 to 1. Yeah? Alright, it might come down now and then do something else. Okay, so that is what I wanted to talk about tonight.